Hey everybody, this is Neacsu at Real Talks, and before the next episode starts, just want to give an answer to a lot of people who are asking me, what software do I use uh, to create my podcast? And the platform that I use is Anchor.fm. It's absolutely free. It has a huge reach, so it'll actually reach out to Apple, it'll reach out to Google, and it'll reach out to Spotify and other platforms. So those platforms pick up your podcast, so you have maximum exposure to anybody who is interested in listening to your podcast. As well, if you're absolutely lucky, there will be companies that will reach out to you and might want to sponsor your podcast. You might get paid for something that you love to do. So if you are interested in starting your own podcast, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And here we go to the next episode, and thank you for your time.
Welcome to Real Talks, the Realtor Life. This is where we talk to real agents about their story and their journey in real estate. We'll discuss their beginnings, their struggles, and their ultimate successes. We peel back the layers and deliver a behind-the-scenes conversation that you, the listener, can find inspiration. My name is Nick Neacsu. My intention is to share the authentic realtor life.
Hey everybody, this is Nick Neacsu with Real Talks. I'm here with Jason Binab, and we are recording episode 13. Jason Binab, if you don't know, he is the founder of the agency in Victoria, but Jason's has been quite a well-known realtor for quite a long time in Victoria. Jason, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you. Yeah, my name is Jason Binab. I'm with the agency here in Victoria. Thanks for having me.
So the agency has been around for how long now?
They're based out of LA, so they've been around for coming up 8 years now.
And in Victoria?
We launched it September 1st last year.
Fantastic. Yeah. And you're doing the grand, I'm here in Victoria to see the grand opening of the agency in Victoria with some key players in the U.S. market as well that we'll be visiting, right?
Yeah, they've got Mauricio I'm picking up at the airport in 2 hours. Billy's here tomorrow morning, the Rodney from head office, and Ricardo from head office. A couple Lauras are coming. There's a couple game time decisions tomorrow, apparently. So a couple guys backed out last minute. As you know, realtors that are busy, it's tough to commit to anything, right? Because business comes up and you...
we can only commit to appointments. That's about it, right?
Yeah.
For business appointments.
Yeah,
that's
business
right. Leisure
ones
that
make you money, not the ones that you just go to the party. Right?
That costs you, right?
Yeah.
So let's back it up a little bit. So how long have you been in the business for?
I got licensed in 2005, so I'm 14 full years, starting my 15th year actually in May. I started in Victoria with Remax in 2005.
That's fantastic. Mm-hmm. And what's your target market focus right now?
So for me, I got licensed. I started, like every realtor, just in the hustle. It was tough in the beginning, lots of door knocking, selling anything and everything, right? From condos to float homes to mobile homes, houses here in Nanaimo, Duncan. It really didn't matter. I didn't really understand in the beginning that if you want to be successful, you have to have a clear vision of who you want to be.
Right.
I was had in the back of my mind that I wanted to be in the luxury market and be the predominant agent in the luxury market. It just took me probably 7 or 8 years to actually set that goal into place and then kind of actually go after it.
So I'm curious, what stopped you from moving forward at the very beginning to enter the luxury market? Were you intimidated by the numbers, or did you feel a little bit too green to enter that market?
I think, we're always taught growing up, you got to learn to walk before you run. That's right. The saying that kind of comes through my mind all the time when my dad, growing up, son, you got to learn to walk before you run. Son, you got to learn to walk before you run. And society teaches us that, you have to do baby steps, right? And, 7 years ago, I just decided in 2012, I'm kind of done with baby steps. Like, I know I'm good enough for, $1 million plus homes. And at that time, I wasn't doing very many sales over $1 million. And I thought, I don't care what society tells me or what the average person thinks. I know I'm good enough and I believe in it. So it was basically kind of like a reprogramming of, my old belief system, right? That, am I good enough? And and once I believed in myself more and set that into motion, I've always worked hard. I've always been a hustler, but I was hustling a lot more product at a lower price point. So working hard, not smart.
Right. And that's sort of the shotgun approach that most young realtors do. They just take on everything they can because you're surviving, right?
Yeah.
So what were you doing in your first 2 years that sort of created the good habits to build business, or that would be part of your success today?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the beginning, I came back from Vancouver, so I lived in Vancouver for 5 years. I was bartending at Balthazar and Voda, working at Bar None. So when I came back, I'd been gone. Like, I'm from Victoria, but I'd been gone for 5 years, right?
Right.
I was trying to be an actor in Vancouver. The beautiful thing about acting is you learn rejection. And then the first year in the business and real estate, guess what? You learn rejection, right? I did phenomenally well my first year. I made a lot of money, and it was, the way I kind of operate is a little bit different than some people. I'm kind of that guy that, if somebody doubts me, then I kind of have something to prove. And in my first few years, I was probably driven by trying to prove something because, one of the owners of the company that I worked for made a joke that I wouldn't make, this Remax award, the Platinum Award, my first year. And I was like, all right, I'm going to make the Platinum my first year. I'm going to make Chairman my second year. And so I set out to prove to him, like, whatever, we're all looking for inspiration, right? So I set out to prove to him, I guess essentially to myself, that I could do it, and I did do it. So it took, door knocking for sale by owners. I got chased by people's pit bulls and Rottweilers walking on development sites out in Langford when I was trying to put together kind of land assemblies or big development properties. And but I learned rejection. I learned, that you just kind of gotta keep moving forward and just plug away, right? It's a numbers game.
It is a numbers game, that's right. And did you teach yourself, or did you have a mentor in your first years?
So funny enough, I worked for Ron Neal at Remax. I worked on his team for 6 months, and then in those first 6 months, I didn't know how to do a deal, didn't know how to write a deal. Shelley Mann actually was one of the first people that taught me, and funny enough, her daughter Melanie Mann is my assistant.
Okay.
Yeah, so you met Melanie. Shelley was instrumental to me in the beginning, and very helpful with me. Took time, patience. Now that's the kind of thing I'm trying to help with, people nowadays, right? Like my friend Robin's getting licensed, and going to be there to help her and mentor them. I didn't really have a mentor, so to speak. I definitely looked up to, there's a few agents in the high-end market like Leslie Farrell and Lisa Williams, Marco and Flood, Sylvia Therian here in Victoria. Those are well-known names. I kind of looked at them and thought, you know what? They are in the market sector that I want to be in. I'm very good friends with Marco and Flood now. I look up to him a lot, but, I'm up there now. If somebody's interviewing 4 top agents in Victoria, I'm one of them. So are these people that I really looked up to.
Yeah, it's a kind of neat position to be in, right? It's when you start getting called in with the top 4, it's almost surreal, isn't it?
Well, just funny enough, it's not really funny for me, but about an hour ago, I got a call from a seller I did an 2 interviews with, and was here with him last night, and he called to say to me he's listing with Lisa Williams. And, as much as I don't like losing, I'm just naturally, I'm a competitive guy. While I was driving here, I had this kind of sense of peace and kind of comfort come over me. I was like, you know what? I've made it now. Why have I made it? Because I just lost to Lisa Williams, who used to be kind of one of the only 2 options, right? Now it's Jason Binab or Lisa Williams.
That's right.
So that's kind of an honor, right?
Absolutely. You're not going to win them all.
No.
But, to be in the show, that's a great thing.
Yeah, like Sylvia Therian's a good friend of mine at Newport too, and she, I lost a listing to her about a year ago, and we're all friends, and it's a small town, and everybody's a little bit kinder maybe than in Vancouver, and maybe it's a little bit more shark like there, but, Sylvia called me to say, hey, after, I'm really sorry. She was real sweet, and, thought that my feelings would be hurt, and I just said, hey, I'm smiling right now. I'm totally honored. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I lost a listing to Sylvia Therian. Like, I'm in the market now. Like, I am where I always wanted to be. So that was kind of an honor too.
That's a neat perspective to look at those failures. Or they're not really failures. Those losses, those huge wins, because now you can even ask for some feedback to see how you can improve, and then next time you're in, you can leverage that.
Every loss or every failure or whatever you want to call it in life is a chance to look at yourself, reflect, and what did you learn from that? And you know what? Maybe this listing I lost wasn't meant for me today. Why? Because 3 more doors are going to open with listings from friends or somebody else that I might have been too tied up with at the time. So there's a reason for it. In the moment, it hurts, right?
Oh, absolutely. So this is a good segue to I guess your first dream was becoming an actor in Vancouver. Definitely not bartending at Bar None.
Bartending was probably more fun.
So was it a low point when you gave up on acting, or was it what changed there? Where you're in that path for you to switch from acting to real estate?
It's a good question. I mean, I was bartending, and going to auditions. I think one year I probably did 100 auditions. And, the market in Vancouver for acting changed in the I was there 2001 to 2006. And I just looked at a lot of my friends that were trying to be actors too, that were bartenders, and even some of my friends that I was 30 years old and they were in their mid 40s and still bartending and still waiting tables. And it just felt like, in life, like in real estate, if you work hard and you're honest and you've got integrity and you hustle, and obviously systems and websites and all that kind of stuff, you get rewarded, right? Like if you're an honest person, you care about people, you get rewarded in this business. In acting, they look at you and they go, sorry, Nick, you're too short, you're too tall, your hair is too dark, you don't look the part.
That's right.
Yet they told you to come audition when they looked at your headshot, and your headshot might say you're 5'11", 6 feet, 6'1".
Right.
And then they show up and say you're too skinny or whatever. I mean, and you've just taken a day off of work, right?
That's right.
And I just looked at it and I was like, you know what? My destiny in this business is in the hands of a casting director or my agent. In real estate, my destiny's in my hands.
Right.
Right?
Exactly. That is very, very true. I gave it a shot a little bit just for fun to see where it would go, and it went nowhere fast. Yeah. And it was, except for rejection, but I got to realize that standing in front of a camera, you don't wear a striped shirt.
No, yeah, right? It moves. It hot, moves. Right?
Yeah, it's hot.
This blazer I'm wearing right now would be hot.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. No, rejection is definitely, it's helped me in this business too.
But then who planted the real estate seed in your blood?
Well, it's a good question. So two things. I used to coach at the Arbutus Club. There's a guy named Paul Eviston, who you probably know from Remax. Paul's a heavy hitter with Remax, and he brought us in to coach his kids' hockey program. And then I was more motivated when I saw kind of what he had, right? His kids are at the club. He's providing a great family for his kids. They're in private schools and all that. So from a kind of a money thing, I was like, hey, that guy's providing a good life for his family, and he's a funny guy, and he's obviously a hustler. And then when I was bartending at Balthazar, a lady named Deborah Gold, who I think she's Deborah Hill now. She married a guy named Mark Hill, who was with WestJet. She came in and she just was in there all the time. She said, hey, you got a great personality. You really like people. Have you ever thought about real estate? And I was like, no, not really. But she's like, but you like people? I'm like, yeah, I love people. She goes, okay, well, the most important thing in real estate is you love people first. Houses is second. It's just the product, right? Whether it's cars, as you would know, or houses, you're selling yourself, and I love people first. So that was how she told me how to take the course, where to sign up, what the costs were, and that's what started it.
That's right. That's great.
Yeah.
So then why didn't you stay in Vancouver for real estate?
Because I grew up in Victoria, so I've been here since the age of 12, so I'm 44 now. So let's say for 30 years of my life, I've been in Victoria. I went to high school here. I used to work at BC Ferries, so I know a lot of people. I mean, you lived here, but Victoria's a small town. If you are from here and you're a good person and you're involved in sports in the community, you know everybody. So I just felt like I had a better chance to start here than Vancouver, where I was only known as a bartender, right?
Right.
So, who were my clients going to be? People from the bar, maybe. Whereas in Victoria, my pool was hundreds of people. I do 2 deals every year from BC Ferries, people that I worked with, and that was 25 years ago.
Wow.
So,
Wow. So back it up. You don't look 44.
Okay.
Just to let you know that, right? So I'm just doing basic math here. So you're 30, 31 when you started?
I was like 30, yeah.
30.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was 31 when I was licensed as well. So a lot of people who are in their 30s say, well, I'm too old, I can't start.
Too old in the 30s?
Yeah, I get that a lot. So I want to switch careers.
Yeah.
In my 20s, I'm not very happy what I'm doing. I'm mixing my fixed income and I've hit my ceiling. Yeah. I want to get into real estate, but am I too old?
I mean, the beautiful thing about real estate is age doesn't really matter, right? It's the person. You can be 55. I mean, we just brought on an agent the other day. I mean, he's been doing it for 10 years now. So he started in his 40s. Used to work with ICBC, work with law firms. In your 40s, when you've got kids, it might be a little bit more scary than in your 30s before you've got kids. So I think if you believe in yourself and you're good with people and you've got a desire to help people and you're willing to hustle and take rejection, age doesn't matter. I mean, if anything, I think people in Victoria, at least, I don't know about Vancouver, if you're in your 20s, you might get that you're too young. Whereas kind of like if you're in your 30s, you know what, you're a family person or you're thinking about a family, you're settling down, people here in Victoria seem to kind of gravitate to that a little bit more than, a young 20-year-old. But we've got a guy here at Bowman Rutledge who's 26, I think. He's one of my brother-in-law's good friends from playing hockey. He started at the age of 22. He's a rock star. He's killing it in Victoria, one of the top agents in the condo market with a partner, Andy Rogers. And, Bowman's young 20s. So I think age doesn't matter. I think it's the person and the belief system.
Okay, so belief system, your own self-confidence and believing that you can actually do it. And I totally agree. There's people in our market that are in their mid-20s that sell $20, $30 million a year.
Yeah.
And it's because they don't, they've got through that mindset where they're too young, they can't do it.
I think it's life. I mean, we're all taught a certain belief system from growing up, but I think, if you love yourself and believe in yourself, really the sky's the limit. The beautiful thing about this business is you can make from $50,000 a year to $10 million. I mean, nobody's making $10 million in Victoria, but if you want to bust your ass and go out there, you can make millions, right?
You can do whatever you like if you're creative,
totally, and
work hard. That's right. So you were a volume shotgun type realtor. So what was the turning point? What got you out of that into what you're doing right now, or on the path to what you're doing right now?
So I started working with a coach in 2012, and up to that point, the first 7 years, I'd kind of had a set income every year. Like I made the same amount of money every year. Is this something I should be talking dollar amounts?
Go for it.
Okay, so I averaged about $500,000 gross a year. And when I started working with the coach, he said to me, you're an autopilot. I was like, well, what do you mean autopilot? He's like, well, you're a human. You've got a belief system. And right now, why are you making the same amount every year? I said, I don't know. And, he started talking about humans and how we go through this cycle of highs and lows and neutral and back and up and down, where he said 98% of people operate over here. You get a bit of a high, then you go back to neutral, then you get a little depression because a deal falls apart or something, then back to neutral and repeat. 2% operate over here where they know that the money's going to be there, the sales are going to be there, but they truly believe in themselves, love themselves, and all this kind of stuff. So he started working on it, and he says to me, we worked on some things, and what it came down to was, when I was a kid, my dad told me if I didn't have a university degree, I was a loser. Okay, nothing against my dad. He's a great guy. He's an Iranian man. Lots of Iranians in Vancouver. Iranian fathers can be typically hard on their kids. Son, without that degree, you're a loser. You're a loser. So every year I was grossing $500,000. I felt like that was more than I deserved because I didn't have a degree. And in my processing unit, my subconscious, I believed that I was a loser and that was enough money to make, right?
That's right.
So I reprogrammed that, came out with a belief system that, hey, I don't care what society tells me or what my dad tells me. I'm good enough. I can make whatever I want. So then I set some new goals, doubled my commission the next year, basically went from, top 10% realtors probably being in the middle of the pack to probably in the top 5%, and then not 5%, the top 5 agents, and then probably number one within, the next year, right? And, the path of where I went from to where I'm at now, a lot of realtors don't really understand it. How did you go from here to here so quick? It's because I reprogrammed myself, and I believe the sky's the limit, and society can't tell me what I can or can't do. I tell myself, right?
And did your work habits change as well?
Yeah. I mean, for sure, I started working harder and more focused and stuff. But my dad just said, you gotta, when you play hockey, you want to be the first guy on the ice, you want to be the last guy off the ice. For work, for me, and the beautiful thing about the agency is Mauricio and Billy, who you'll meet, are the same belief system. Mauricio is one of the first guys in there. He's the last guy out. I'm the first guy in here. I'm the last guy out.
Right.
So I outwork the competition. I outwork the people I work with. I'm happy to help other people and train them. There is a cost to that. It comes at the expense of my family and a bit of the balance. My wife supports that and understands that, and my kids understand too. But yeah, more than anything, I think it's just believing in yourself and not listening. Sky's the limit in this business. That's the most beautiful thing about this business.
Yeah, absolutely. And now you have a fairly new brokerage in Victoria, and you also have other potentials in British Columbia as well with the brand.
Yeah.
How many agents are in your brokerage right now?
So here there's we got a couple more coming. So I think there's 15 or 16 here in Victoria. Up Island there's like 4. We just finished our documents with the lawyers, the disclosure documents, in order to be able to sell sub-franchises as of 2 weeks ago. So we're going to open up 2 offices in Vancouver, one in Whistler, one in Kelowna. And there's a few people that have talked to Mauricio in LA about sub-franchises, and they're coming to the party tomorrow, and lots of Vancouver interest. So we will be in Vancouver within 6 months to a year for sure in 2 offices.
Fantastic. And are you taking Mauricio's sort of vision and implanting it here, or are you sort of combining your vision and his vision to for the Canadian brand?
Yeah, that's that's a really good question. So Mauricio's vision and Billy's vision is culture and collaboration. Those are the two words that everybody talks about. Culture being, most real estate companies I don't believe have a culture. It's just kind of everybody's dog eat dog, and everybody's out to get them. If I'm up against you for a listing, we both work at the agency. You and I, we co-list it.
Right.
At Remax or normal companies, you usually try to get it, and I try to get it. Right. So it's a belief system that together the company benefits and the client benefits, instead of you and I trying to go for it, and then Robin from a different company, Sotheby's, goes for it, and they say, well, I know Nick, but Jason's my cousin, so if I hire Nick, Jason's going to be upset. If I hire Jason, Nick's going to be upset, so let's just hire a neutral party, right? So their vision, is definitely in my mind. The thing that I'm trying to do here is working and focusing on mental wellness too, like teaching realtors it's important to make money and have success and stuff like that, but it's also important to book time off for yourself. Make sure you're out there working out, going for a walk, keep the mind strong, whether it's meditation or prayer, booking off, allocating time, and then really pushing yourself through goals and changing your belief system, right? So it's kind of, for me, I've had success with a hypnotherapist along with 2 different business coaches that I work with on a weekly basis, and it's kind of trying to pass that belief system on to them. Obviously, if somebody buys it in Vancouver, I want to try to find the right fit for the company that's going to honor the culture, the collaboration, and just a different mindset that we want to have a good time together, make money here, win together, fall down, pick each other up, but at the end of the day, really share and take care of ourselves and have fun doing it.
So are you attracting a lot of younger agents that are just looking for some guidance and training so they can learn the right way?
Yeah, so the vision here for me in Victoria was to have 6 new people and probably 16 to 20 established ones in the main location, and then move out to Sydney and then to probably to Broadmead or somewhere else. But the big thing was to help create new superstars in real estate that come in with a good attitude, as opposed to taking somebody that's 25 or 30 years in the business that has maybe not the best work ethic, or they're not, like, the biggest thing here is positive energy. When you come in here, if all the agents were in here, everybody that comes in here is like, wow, this place is upbeat and it's energetic. And that's not a youth thing to me. You can be 65 and energetic. Like Lima that works here, I don't know her age, but she's unbelievably positive, always chipper, and you can feel that. Nothing worse than walking into an office where you get these energy vampires that are sitting there, shoulders are tight, negative, the news is negative. Well, there's enough negative news about real estate. Who wants to come to work at an office where there's negative energy? I don't, and we don't want to have that here.
Right.
And that's that no assholes rule I was telling you about. So we want to make sure that we hire good realtors with a good belief system that are going to work hard, honor their clients, and give a luxury service.
Well, absolutely. It's all it takes is one person to ruin the energy.
Totally.
Absolutely. I mean, even you're exactly right. In our office, you've met Malcolm Hassan, right? Yeah. And he's in his 60s, and he has more energy. I don't know where he gets it from. But he has so much energy.
Caffeine.
Caffeine, Americanos, right? No, but this guy comes in and he just pushes us.
Yeah.
And he still pushes us to be our best, and he challenges us, and that's the great thing of having superstars in the company that are willing to mentor. You learn what it takes to be successful in a much faster pace than it would if you try to figure it out yourself.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things about Mauricio. He's I don't know, number 1 agent in LA.
Yeah.
LA's got like 280,000 realtors or something like that. It's crazy.
Wow.
And he still pushes his agents. Now, I'm inspired by him, right? Like at the former company I was with, I finished very high in the rankings. At the company I'm with right now, at the agency, if you wanted to say how do I fit in there based on commission or performance, hey, I'm a 4th line grinder now playing in the NHL.
Right.
But I'd rather be a 4th line grinder playing with Sidney Crosby. That's Mauricio, to try to strive to be somebody like him or James or David or some of these other guys that are heavy hitters, and try to keep improving myself, always up in my game, up in the ante, right?
Right. Wow. So what motivates you to show up every day? You've made a lot of money. You have a great company. You don't have to work as hard as you're doing. Like what's keeping you going?
Good question. I'm a competitor. I'm a winner. So winners are always looking to keep winning. There's no plateau for me. Like it's always, whether it's your goal is to make X amount of money or not, once you hit that, what can you do the next year to do it different? Well, let's hit that in less deals, right? And when you do that in less deals, you're working smarter, not harder. And what does that do? It gives me balance, more time with my wife, with my kids, more time to mentor other agents, to help them. Because if I can make what I want to make in less deals, helping clients, giving them that great service, and help all the agents around me step their game up and be the best they can be, then hey, that's the best thing for me. That's what motivates me, is to create. I call it, like, what I'm trying to build here is like an NHL Stanley Cup winning team. You know, I don't need 10 Sidney Crosbys. I need one Crosby. I need a Malkin. I need a goalie. I need a power play guy, a penalty kill guy. And that's what we're trying to build here. So just a group of winners that really everybody has a role here, right?
Right. And something I appreciated just by texting you was that you had to go pick up your son before you came to the office. I think that's a really neat thing because there's people think there's no time in real estate, but you can make time for your family, which is number one by far.
I got two sons. I drop one off every morning. I pick one of the other ones up twice a week, because he's in pre-K, and I put the kids to sleep every night. So out of 7 nights a week, I probably do 6. I missed last night because I was here doing late appointment. And I take Sundays off, so I don't work Sundays. If I get an offer, I'll deal with it, but I'm not doing showings and stuff. So that's my day with my boys, and we always do an adventure thing, right? So
that's neat.
The beautiful thing is you make time, and early on, the big thing for new realtors that I'm saying to them is, don't try to be everything to everybody. It sets some boundaries, sets some goals. So whether you're a mother of 3 or a father of 2 or whatever, like, tell your clients in the beginning, this is the boundaries. I'm Nick. You know what? Between 6 and 8. I don't answer the phone because I'm with the kids putting them to sleep, and I answer the phone from 8 till 9 and 9 o'clock and beyond. If you text me or call me after that, I'll get back to you the next day. If you don't say that in the beginning, and you're the guy that I was, which is, hey, I'll respond at 11 at night, midnight. I used to get off on responding quick. People are like, wow, you're quick, and that's part of the hustle. But now you're paying for it later because, hey,
it's an expectation.
Jason, you used to respond within 5 minutes, and you respond at 11 o'clock at night. Now you're not responding until the next morning. You're too busy for me. You know what? Now I've got some boundaries, but I laid that groundwork early on.
Right.
You can't go back, right? So teaching agents in the beginning, respect yourself, respect your time, and clients will respect you too.
That's a very, very good point. Yeah, I guess I'm old Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm up till crazy hours.
Yeah.
But you do what you have to hustle, and then you have to find your balance as well. Absolutely. So where do you see yourself in 5-10 years now with this whole new agency and yourself as a realtor?
So in terms of the company, within 5 years, we'll be all over BC and all over Canada too. I don't own the rights to Canada right now, but we're in talks with Mauricio and Billy about that. We'd like to, just so that we can kind of continue their vision and make sure that we pick select people in Calgary or Edmonton or Toronto or Montreal. Because obviously you want to work with like-minded people, right? Mm-hmm. But Mauricio and Billy, it's up to them. They'll find great people too. And in terms of BC, we'll have minimum 7 offices, probably 10 to 12 offices within 5 years. My guess is 300 plus agents. And the company has a desire to stay boutique and small. They don't have a vision to be like a Keller Williams or a Remax or like your typical bums and seats kind of philosophy. And then my vision in 5 years would be definitely to be making sure I'm mentoring as many people as I can, making sure that they're their best that they can be, just creating a group of winners and have some more time with my family, right? Because the kids will be like 12 and they'll be busy in hockey and stuff and free up my time. So it's putting in the hard work, and I've always working hard, but keep laying that foundation, building on that foundation to get where you want, and that's going to be for me to have balance.
Perfect.
What is balance?
What is balance, right? what makes you feel sane, right?
Yeah. Totally.
Ask everybody who's on the show one question. That question is, what single piece of advice would you give your younger self on day one when starting your business in real estate?
Good question. And probably before I started this company, I might not have had that answer, but now I'm very clear. The thing that you need to determine in the beginning is, who are you going to be? Who is Nick Realtor going to be? Who is whatever Realtor going to be? Set those goals early and don't deviate from that. So if you say, I want to be the king of Kitsilano or the king of West Van, or like set that. And if somebody calls you and says, come list my home in Langley, White Rock, or in Victoria, for me it was Duncan, Nanaimo, East Souk. Don't do it. Stay true to your vision. Just trust the process, that if you believe in yourself and you know you're a winner, it will get there. But when if you're crystal clear on where you're going and you've set goals and you break down the goals to where you need to be, what you need to be doing today in order to hit your goal in 6 months, 12 months, 3 months, 1 month, like I set quarterly goals and then break it down very specific. If somebody calls and it's outside where I want to go, sorry, we're going to go with somebody else at the company. Because that's not in my vision,
right?
And it's going to take time away from where I'm specializing, which is the core of Victoria, or some of these waterfront specialty properties.
Right, that makes a lot of sense. And then if somebody who's listening wants to be part of the agency, who are you looking for right now?
We're looking for people with, most importantly, great energy, positivity, a desire to upgrade themselves to a better version of themselves, right? Like that's what I say to people. Hey, Nick, are you operating as the best version of you? And if you're not, then I want you. Why? Because now it's a challenge for me to help you achieve whatever your goals are and help you reprogram yourself to find who you truly are. And that's come from me for the last 7 years with coaching with 3 different people, whether it's hypnotherapist, energy specialist, meditation, whatever, right? Like I work with people, and it's not just real estate talk. It's a lot of meditation, a lot of law of attraction, a lot of energy exercises and energy meditations. And all of the agents here, we're doing that too. I've had different coaches come and speak to us on that. And that's what I'm looking for, is people that are excited, that want to upgrade to a better version of themselves in real estate and in life.
Fantastic. And where can people find you?
They can find us. So my own personal website is binabgroup.com, but the company website is www.theagencyre.com/BC. And we're in Victoria. Our phone number is 778-265-5552. And we're excited to be here, and the response has been great. We've got a lot of listings, doing a lot of business, attracting a lot of realtors, and I really haven't recruited that much. Most people have come to us because of the agency and because they've seen it on TV, and
$1 million listing,
or Housewives of Beverly Hills, or Rich Kids of LA, or whatever it was called, Brendan Fitzpatrick, and those guys. So. And
if they want to follow your journey on Instagram, where can they find you?
So we are at the agency Victoria, and I've also got at Binab Group. That's my own team within the agency, right? So I own the company here, but I'm also a realtor with a group underneath the umbrella company, and either one of those, at Binab Group or at the agency Victoria.
Perfect. I'll have this all in the bio for this episode. And Jason, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for the invitation to the agency office. It's absolutely beautiful. You got to check it out.
Thanks. And to the party tomorrow.
That's right. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening, and have a wonderful day.